All right, let's finish out this section today. We're going to finish up our notes on this. This stuff is either the same or easier than we've already been working on. So this first question is find the roots of the equation by factoring. Now, while we're on the subject here, Photo Math and the Photo Math app on Snapchat, those are really great ways to check your answers. However, if you're doing your assignments using Photo Math, that's a problem because Photo Math is using a method we haven't learned yet. If I see that method, it tells me that you're cheating. So I'm going to take those points away from you. Make sure you're not using Photo Math. You're actually doing the problems on your own. We need these methods to learn exactly how we move forward. And if we don't learn this method, it's going to make the rest of the year hard for you. So you definitely want to learn this method. That being said, let's now go ahead and add this 4 over to the other side. Remember, anytime we want to find the roots, we want to get everything on one side and the other side to be equal to 0. So in order to get the negative 4 over, we have to add it. That becomes plus 4 on both sides. Those cancel out. X squared minus 4x plus 4 equals 0. Now I have to figure out what multiplies to give me 4 and adds to negative 4. My first term in the front is just x, so that tells me this is going to be x and x. And then in order to get 4 in the back and negative 4 in the middle, I can try 4 and 1. Notice I'm not putting parentheses around this. Like, I don't know how some of you were doing that, but that's wrong. I can do 4 and 1 and 2 and 2. 4 minus 1, if I'm looking at my plus here and a minus here, it tells me these are going to be minus and minus. So really we're adding. So 4 plus 1 is 5. That's not negative 4. 2 plus 2 is 4. It's negative because these are both negatives. It's really a minus 2 and a minus 2. Set that equal to 0. Now I break these up. X minus 2 equals 0. X minus 2 equals 0. And I'm left with x equals 2. If you'll notice right from the beginning, I could have actually done this using our common terms. Difference of two squares and perfect square trinomials. If I look at this question in the beginning, let's just get rid of all this. I have x squared minus 4x plus 4 equals 0. That's after I've already added this 4 over to the other side. If I look at this, it's a perfect square. If I look at this, it's a perfect square. So this tells me it's x and 2. Look at the inside, 2 times 2x. Remember, our perfect square trinomial tells us that if it's x squared minus 2ab plus b squared. So my a is x. My b is the square root of 4, which is 2. Because 2 squared gives me 4. So now I'm just putting that in. 2 squared was 4. This is just x. This is 2. Negative 2 times 2. That gives me negative 4. And then it's just x. So this works out. You can use either method. Some ways I think that the first method is the easier way. Other times I think this is the easier method. It's all about just identifying this as a perfect square trinomial, where I end up with a squared for the front term, squared for the back term, then that tells me that I can move forward. That's A. 2 squared is B. Really simple. Or you can just do it the regular old factoring way. I'll leave that up to you. What you can't do is use photomath. All right, if you know the zeros of a function, then you can work backwards to write a rule for the function. This means if I'm given a question that says write a quadratic function in standard form with zeros 4 and -7, that means I can use those zeros to work backwards to find my quadratic function. So basically, I'm just going to roll backwards with this. I know x equals 4 and x equals -7. From here, I want to get this over to the other side. So I have to subtract it. X minus 4 equals 0. X plus 7 equals 0. If you remember from the way we've been doing this, we would have broken these apart to get to this point. So let's go backwards there. X minus 4 and x plus 7. Now we can multiply this back out. I can either FOIL it or distribute, however you want to, whatever method you want to use is fine. They're essentially the same thing. X times x gives me x squared. X times 7 is 7x. Inside is -4x. And then -4 times 7 is -28. Now I can combine my like terms in the middle. It gives me x squared plus 3x minus 28. That would have been my original quadratic function in standard form. So we can go forward or backwards with these questions. Now I want you to try this one. 5 and -5. Of x equals 5 and x equals -5. Work backwards. X minus 5 equals 0. X plus 5 equals 0. Gives me x minus 5 times x plus 5. Multiply this out by distributing. X times x is x squared. X times 5 is 5x. Inside, -5 times x is minus 5x. And -5 times 5 is -25. In the middle, 5x minus 5x gives me 0x. So that cancels these middle terms out. And I'm just left with x squared minus 25 equals 0. I can realize that this is a difference of 2 squares. So I know that this is correct. See, those are the same things, but one's a plus and one's a minus. So in the end, I should always end up with that if I'm working backwards. If it's a difference of 2 squares, I should have no middle term. Okay, that's really it for today. I'm going to give you an IXL assignment because we've covered just about everything in this section. Good luck on that. Tomorrow we'll have a little bit of a review and then our quiz on Thursday.